Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It is White Rice Wednesday, which means time for my Survivor recap. So, to recap on tonight's episode, first of all, I'm sporting this lovely merge buff here, and to be quite frank, I feel like this is the best merge buff ever. See the teal and the green? Amazing. So Jeanine is basically dealing with the consequences of Ellie's vote out last week, and what bothered me is that she was saying like, oh, obviously I was out of the loop, nobody told me anything. I'm like, are you fucking insane right now? Why would they tell you, oh, the vote's gonna be Ellie tonight? They know you two are like this, so why would they give you that information? Because then you just go right and tell Ellie, hey, guess what, they're gonna vote you out tonight. I mean, these people aren't dumb. I mean, I gotta give these people credit. These are some smart people out here this season. So I'm like, that literally made no sense to me at all. So Jeanine is on the chopping block, I would think. But then also, too, she's also on the bottom. So she's kind of like a free agent right now. So she could literally go for any alliance. So sometimes it's not always such a bad thing that you're on the bottom. So with it being the merge, you know, usual traditions, there's a merge feast, or you paint the tribe flag, and they got tree mail, and I thought, oh, they're going to paint the tribe flag, and I'm thinking, well, we haven't actually seen them do that in a long time. And apparently they got a no about the immunity challenge, that they have to separate into pairs, and they couldn't figure out who would go with who, because for social politics in Survivor, you don't want to say like, oh, I want to be Cody's partner, or I want to be Carla's partner, because that's going to be, then people might assume like, oh, they're together, they want to be together or something. Not together, but you know what I mean, like in a alliance. Like it doesn't look good on your part, basically. So I actually think how they handled it was smart. They got rocks and they painted them, and whatever color you got, that's who you were paired with. I'm also wondering if that's foreshadowing drawing rocks at some point this season. So the challenge was in pairs, they had to go through this twisted net tunnel, and then they had to dig planks out of the sand. 4 people from that would move on. Then the 4 pairs would build this bridge out of their planks, like basically balancing. So if you fall, you got to start over. And then the last leg of the challenge, you have to hold a bucket of water up a quarter of your body weight. So it ended up being Cody, Gabler, Owen, don't remember who the other one was, but it ended up being Gabler that won immunity. And what was interesting is, I mean, I thought that challenge was insane. Like, the people got stuck. Like, Jeanine got stuck, Noelle got stuck, and it's hard. Like, that was a hard challenge, but then you also feel like, oh, you let your team down, and Noelle took it pretty hard, and they all helped her out and everything, and helped Jeanine out. Like, it's nice, and Jeff put it very good that it's a game. They're all out there to win $1 million, but at some point it's nice to show like, oh, we have a little bit of empathy out here, you know? And yeah, it was crazy challenge. I mean, I have to give them production credit. That was an amazing challenge. Tough, very hard to watch, but good challenge. So it's chaos at camp. There's a bunch of names being thrown out. Noelle's name's being thrown out because people think she's calling the shots. James's name's being put out because he's a physical therapist. He's also very well liked. Ryan's name is also being thrown out, but his name was being talked about for a couple episodes now. And the highlight of the episode is there's a bunch of people at the watering hole, and James sees a bottle, and he pulls it out, and it's this clue that says there's an advantage hidden underneath your shelter. And nobody wants to go zoom running. I mean, that's probably what your first instinct is, to just run and go grab it, you know? But you don't want that, because then people will know that you got it. So James, and everyone agrees they're not going to go look for it. But then James says, fuck it, this is Survivor. So James has the knowledge is power advantage. So basically, if people don't know what that is, if somebody has an advantage or an idol and they use that advantage, they could say, for conversation's sake, they could say, Jesse, do you have an idol? They cannot lie about it. If they have it, they have to say yes. And then if they do in fact have an idol or advantage, they have to give it to the said person. So what does James do? He goes and tells people, well, I want to build trust with everybody. And what happens? Spreads like wildfire. Every single person in that camp knows that he has an advantage. I'm like, why would you tell? I don't get why people tell others, I have an advantage. I have an idol. Like, that whole advantage would have been utilized so much better had it been a surprise, you know? So because of that, everybody is playing musical idol and advantage, because if we saw from 2 seasons ago, it was to try to get Xander's idol, but Xander had given it to Tiffany, so when asked if Xander had an idol, he had a fake one as a decoy. So I do like how they're handling it, because you don't know, like, but then also too, the downside of that is, who's to say they're going to give that back? Because if you give somebody an idol, they could easily take that for themselves. That would be a brilliant move. That would be actually a brilliant move. Take their idol and vote them off, so then you are in control of the idol. Brilliant. This is why I need to go on Survivor. Anyway, Tribal Council happens, and they're talking about the challenge and how hard it was, and like how safe everyone feels tonight, and how trust is important, but then also too, you can't trust anybody out here. And it ended up being Dwight that got sent home. I was blindsided. I did not think Dwight was going home. But what was funny is that Janine kept saying, I got you. So it looked like, they might be an alliance. But he's voted out. So now she doesn't have any alliance members again. I mean, it's kind of funny, but kind of sad. So yeah, I mean, I feel like Dwight had kind of an under the radar edit. I have nothing bad to say about him. I thought, he was, from what we saw, I thought he was great. So next week's episode shows that they're basically scrambling and trying to form new alliances, and basically everyday things in Survivor. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's Survivor. If you guys want to check out Survivor, it is on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on CBS, or you can stream it on Paramount+. Until next time, stay regal.